Usborne 10 more 10-minute stories. The Reluctant Dragon. Long, long ago, there was a peaceful little village called Sheepdale. But one morning, its peace was shattered by the yells of a terrified shepherd. Help! He hollered. Whatever the matter? Cried the wife. Something terrible, he wailed. As big as four horses with long sharp claws, shiny blue scales, and a spiky tail. The shepherd's son looked up from his book of myths and legends. It sounds like a dragon to me, he said. That night, the shepherd was too scared to sleep, and the next day he didn't dare go into the hills to see his sheep. Don't worry, I'll go, said the boy. But what about the dragon? His mother whispered. The boy gave a shrug. He might be friendly. And off he skipped up the hillside. See you soon. It wasn't hard to find the dragon. He was sitting outside a cave, reciting poetry. Excuse me, young sir, the dragon called. What rhymes with beauty? Duty, replied the boy. Yes, that's it. Much better than fruity. Not only was the dragon a poet, he was also a great storyteller and a vegetarian. In days gone by, dragons were fearsome fire breathers, he told the boy, burning down houses and stealing princesses. Ethel Scorcher the Red was one of the most feared dragon of all. The boy loved hearing the dragon's stories and came back every day to listen. But when the villagers found out about the dragon, they were terrified. We must slay him before he slays us, they cried. The boy ran straight to the dragon's cave. The villagers want to get rid of you, he panted. You are not safe here. They don't like dragons. But I want her to fly, the dragon replied. Try telling that to the villagers, said the boy. But this is my home. I know, sighed the boy. But they want you out. I could read them some of my poetry. Back in the village, the mood had turned from fear to excitement. He's here, cried the blacksmith. Who's here? Asked the boy. St. George, the dragon killer. A cheer came up from the crowd. We are saved. He's going to fight the dragon. Once more the boy rushed to the dragon's cave. St. George has come to fight you, he said, and he's got the longest spear I've ever seen. I don't like fighting, replied the dragon. I'll hide in my cave until he goes away. You can't, said the boy. He's sure to find you here. But the dragon just yawned and closed his eyes. There must be something I can do, thought the boy. By now the villagers had gathered around St. George and were telling him tips about the dragon. He eats 10 sheep for breakfast. He's burned down 5 houses already. The boy waited for the villagers to go. Then, "It's not true," he cried. "The dragon's my friend. He won't hurt a fly." St. George scratched his chin. "How can you be so sure?" he asked. "He recites poetry and he is a vegetarian. Does that sound fearsome to you?" St. George could see the boy had a point. "But I'm St. George, the dragon killer," he explained. "Everyone expects me to fight the dragon. I can't just go home." "Wait a minute, that's it," cried the boy. "We'll stage a great fight and then everyone will be happy. Quick, let's go and tell the dragon." The boy led George to the dragon's cave. "What a perfect place for a fight," said George. Then the dragon appeared, looking very grumpy. "Go away," he said. "I don't like fighting." "It will be fun." "It doesn't have to be real fight," said the boy quickly. "You just need to put on a good show for the villagers." "So there won't be any violence?" asked the dragon wearily. "Well, it has to look real," said George, "but you'll just be acting out a story," the boy assured him. "I'm rather good at storytelling," said the dragon, warming to the idea. It was St. George's description of the feast they would have after that finally convinced him. On the day of the fight, the villagers were up bright and early. They cheered and waved when St. George rode into view. But where was the dragon? Suddenly, a roar echoed around the hills and flames burst into view. Even the boy was taken by surprise. Everyone gasped as the dragon emerged, his scales sparkling in the morning light, his breath threatening to burn anything in sight. "Charge!" cried George, heading straight for the dragon. He galloped hard, his spear held high. The dragon bounded up to meet him, and they shot past each other. "Missed!" yelled the crowd. George and the dragon turned around and charged again. This time there was no way they could miss. Clatter! Bang! Off! The villagers covered their eyes and then peeked through their fingers. Who was winning? They wondered.